Hello and welcome to another edition of our Wednesday Dynamite Reaction Show. I am your host here, Adam Baum, in studio. The giant head above me is my co-host, Bionic Brian. Brian, what is happening tonight? How are you, sir?
You know, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I am the giant head. You could have given me a heads up that we were starting. I know we're a little bit late right now, but all of a sudden I just hear the music and I'm a little frazzled.
Did you hear the music? Because I'm not even sure if it played the opening theme music. We got the video
it played on YouTube, I believe.
Yeah. Well, that's good because that's why we were starting late because I couldn't hear it here. So, as we are a little late, that means we got a full board full of lieutenants on our YouTube live chat board. We got Daniel Price, Christopher Stykeleather, Rocky Patel, and the newly anointed Hall of Fame member Juan Rodriguez. What's going on?
Wait, was he anointed yet? I thought that's at Mania. No.
No, I anointed him. We have no more Monday shows. He was anointed on the final show.
Oh, that's right.
Come on.
That's right.
So first off, Brian, this show's going to be a little different than our normal show.
Fine by me, man.
At the end, we're going to still do marked out match of the night, segment of the night, the marked out award, and our petty. But before we get there, I want to just break down a few things. I want to talk about Revolution. I want to talk about the debuts we had tonight, plural. I want to talk about how I think AEW is getting it half right now.
Half right. What do you mean?
We'll get there.
Oh, okay, well, I guess we'll get to it, huh?
And then I definitely want to talk about Paige and Archer. So before we do anything, I want to start with Jeff Hardy. And I know Jeff Hardy is most recently ex-WWE, but the guy's been in TNA. He's been around a long time in other companies. Yeah. He's not just WWE.
Oh, no.
But he made some dirt sheet headlines, and I think it pertains a little bit to AEW. So I wanted to get it out there.
Recently?
Yes.
When?
So a lot of word coming out that they let him go. Obviously, we know that's true. What I'm hearing now is that he took a drug test on the way out,
and
it came back negative. So they didn't really kick him out for. I mean, they wanted him. You know, the dirt that we heard of why he was let go is they wanted him to go to rehab, counseling, whatever.
Right. He
said, "I don't need it." Yeah. And he passed the drug test, so he maybe doesn't. Speaking as somebody who quit smoking, I remember quitting smoking right before I got hospitalized, and they asked me if I was a smoker, so I was answering honestly. I just quit, and they're like, "Well, let us get you a nicotine patch," and I'm like, "No, I'm doing well on my own." I know that drugs and cigarettes are vastly different, but if Jeff was doing okay, there's no need to do all this.
Wait, they give you all that when you're in the hospital? They give you nicotine patches?
Oh yeah, I mean if you're suffering, yeah. I mean if you're suffering from withdrawal symptoms and nicotine fits.
What if you dabble with like the devil's lettuce? Like what if you do that? Like
I don't give
you anything.
I'm sure if it's within reason, they'll accommodate. I'm sure if you're a meth addict, they probably give you methadone.
No, I don't believe that.
Yeah, you don't think they wean you off? They just say "fuck you."
Okay, what if like I love cocaine? Would they like?
I don't know, Brian. We're off topic.
I mean, I don't. For the record, I don't.
We're off topic.
Sorry. Yeah.
So what's bringing us full circle and why Jeff Hardy's in the news again is apparently he was approached by WWE. I don't know if because they felt bad about everything, but he was offered a spot in the Hall of Fame, in this year's Hall of Fame ceremony. And he turned it down.
Are you sure it was this year, or were they like, we'll induct you?
No.
You're a sure thing. No?
Really?
This year?
The dirt that I have is saying that he was supposed to be part of this year's class.
That's insane to me.
And he turned it down. Do you know why, Brian?
Well, I mean, because fuck you, WWE, for firing him when he did clearly. I mean, he walked out during the match. Okay, but no, I don't officially know why. Go on.
I love the reason. It's not because fuck you, WWE. And probably makes me an even bigger fan of Jeff's. Jeff said, "Are you inducting the Hardy Boys? Or just me?"
Yeah.
To which they replied, "Just you." And he said, "No, thanks. If you want to, induct the Hardy Boys, I'm there." And the reason I bring all this up to an AEW standpoint is obviously Matt signed AEW.
Yeah.
WWE is being... They're acknowledging AEW, I guess, in a sense here, finally, Brian. They have to. Because they allowed Billy Gunn to be part of the Hall of Fame ceremony last year when he was under contract at AEW. Mm-hmm. Now they won't allow Matt there and have singled out Jeff. Or the only other logical conclusion is this is 100% to make up for the fact that they canned him when he didn't fail a drug test.
It's 1,000,000% that. I mean, of course, you could say that the Hardys are going to go in. I mean, I feel like they're a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame eventually, but I don't know. I don't know. I find that hard to believe. I know that's the rumor that's going out there. Well, and I've heard it from multiple places too. This isn't the first time I've heard that. I don't know. Part of me just has a hard time believing it, but.
And to me, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. You might know more than me since you know all the bingo halls. But there's only 2 tag teams in the history, true tag teams, that came up like as a tag team that have both guys as world champs. That is the Hardys, and that is Edge and Christian.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Oh, wait, I guess APA, but no, they didn't come up together. Farouk was a tag.
Yeah, no, they were just thrown together.
Yeah, at the end.
Right.
They were both leftover remnants of other things. Nation and the Blackjacks. So, but yeah, they. I'm shocked that they wouldn't cross this forbidden door for the Hall of Fame for Matt or whatever there. I agree with you, Brian, that maybe they will one day when he's no longer under contract or AEW. But
definitely.
But the point of me bringing all this up, I guess, if Rob were here, he'd be mad I'm dragging it out. But it's the fact that this is kind of petty. And this is them acknowledging, they're definitely acknowledging AEW's existence here.
I mean, I feel like they already were before, but I see what you're saying. This is like...
Last year, Billy Gunn was there when DX went in.
Was he? That was last year?
Like that was or maybe it was the year before, but Billy Gunn's been with AEW since the beginning, and the Gun Club's there too.
Yeah, you're right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, DP says there were other reasons to fire him. Yes, there were, but I mean, if you're going to come crawling back and want to put him in the Hall of Fame right after, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
do you believe that though? Do you think that was actually like a true? Like, you think they really offered him a Hall of Fame spot for this year?
I mean, it was my report came from Cultaholics, who I think was reporting from Fightful.
Okay.
But yeah, I do believe it. I think WWE has to. I mean, they made the guy a champ 3 times, Brian. 3-time heavyweight champ.
Yeah.
So you're definitely acknowledging him. You know that this guy's a commodity. Maybe it's a little remorse for letting him go. They did that with Drake Maverick. They did that with Samoa Joe. Whether Drake, we can argue all day, was scripted or not, those 3 were all part of cuts. And They brought Drake back. They brought Joe back. So,
yeah. But then they fired them again.
Yeah. That's what they do.
Yeah. Did I hear? Did I hear a Studio Cat open the door?
No, that was a executive producer.
Oh. Hey, Roadie Robert.
Hey. He's just here to fix the levels that apparently I messed up. So, that's all I wanted to say about that. I just thought it was interesting that.
Totally.
Before we get to our Revolution Roundup, and our half right segment. Let's talk about the debut of the night. Tony Nese's cousin debuted. Oh wait, no, sorry.
No,
That's Jay White. Jay White is what I have in the notes.
that's not nice.
Sorry, MJ.
Yeah, he's pissed at you.
Jay White debuts. Somewhat unceremoniously, but the important thing here is what happens later. There's, Adam Cole flat out says it. He I think it was Cole. I don't think it was one of the Bucks, but he said, Bullet Club for life. The elite is the elite, but Bullet Club for life. Is there a chance that we could have a Bullet Club, like NWO style kind of takeover but use the Bullet Club?
Of like AEW, you mean?
Yeah, you know the way NWO, like before they got stupid and had like 20 members, when they were just at like 4 or 5. Do you think that there's a chance that what they were doing in the beginning of NWO that was over like Grover, do you think there's a chance that the Bullet Club could be coming in and doing this here?
I mean, I hope they do, if I'm being honest. I would love that, man. I fucking love old NWO.
And I mean, the Bullet Club, for an AEW audience, that would resonate. You've got a lot of guys there.
Totally.
Who do you got? You got Cole, you got Bucks. Red Dragon wasn't part of the Bullet Club, were they?
No.
I know Finn's not very happy.
Well, Kenny too.
Kenny's injured, but he could come out.
Gallows and Anderson, but I mean they're not really full time.
Yeah, fuck Gallows and Anderson. I'm kind of over them.
Really?
Yeah. That
nice.
run they did was just stupid. They were like, I don't know, they were like Hall and Nash on a reunion show. Just like hanging out. Hey, we're here. Look at that, we got a paycheck. Yeah, look, we're super elite or whatever the fuck they were supposed to be. Kenny's entourage. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, off topic.
Oh man. That's a bummer.
So Jay White, what do you think about this debut? Do you think that it will lead to something at Revolution, or do you think this is all just going to be centered around Cole and Bucks and that?
No, I mean, I definitely could see him having a match at Revolution. I mean, that's got to be, what are we, 3 weeks, 4 weeks out? 3 weeks?
After tonight, we have 3, and that's why Revolution Roundup we're going to talk about. We got 3 weeks left, plus a Rampage. But we got 3 Dynamites and 4 Rampages before we get to Revolution.
Yeah.
And Stike's saying Jay White did this in Impact. He didn't align with the Good Brothers in Omega. He was just there to take out his NJPW competition. Jay White is just taking out his NJPW competition. I mean, that was going to be my next thing. Is he all elite? Is this just a stance?
No. Yeah, no. This is just him kind of coming in, doing a few appearances. I'm sure, like you said, he'll probably be there through Revolution, I would say.
Yeah.
The other one,
he'll be there longer than Jeff Cobb.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff Cobb, he's still doing New Japan dates, but no, Jay White, he's signed to New Japan. That's where he's going to be for a good amount of years.
So, but to Stike's point, who's here? Who's his competition here that he could be taking out? And why does Tony think this is some huge forbidden door?
I mean, it is a pretty big. He's one of their of New Japan's like big guns over there. So what do you mean? So it's a pretty big deal for New Japan to be this in bed.
Moxley
but Moxley wasn't like a New Japan creation. No, Moxley went to New Japan after WWE, but he's not like.
So the only reason that makes this a forbidden door is because Jay White is an NJPW creation, is what you're saying.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. I mean, he hasn't really done that much in the States. He did a little bit in Ring of Honor. He recently just did stuff with Impact, but
I don't want to shit on everything you just said.
Yeah.
Because I don't have enough information to disagree with you, and I don't think you're wrong. And it doesn't really matter for the question I want to follow up with, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Is Jay White acceptable for Tony to have hyped it a week and make it seem humongous?
I mean, if you're a fan of New Japan, absolutely. Although, if you ask,
feels like the setup feels the same as Christian.
How?
For the setup for Christian, not for the setup for Brian and CM Punk, the debut, where he's like, "Oh, we gotta debut. This one's gonna make Vince McMahon cry. This guy's a Hall of Famer," and all that. Like, everything he teased was so, like, wow. Like, you know, some fucking people were talking about it could have been Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And then, I was happy with it. I think Rob said it best. Here comes Christian. And I'm like, oh, cool. Here's Christian. But a lot of people were like, really? At the time, they were thinking it was Bryan Danielson, or they were thinking it was CM Punk.
No, let me break in here. Find my fucking mic. Where's my mic?
None of them have batteries.
Where's your mic? Grab a battery, sir.
Seriously?
Not working ones. Mine is on low battery as it is. So, to me,
I want to get it on this.
I don't think Jay White. I don't see the hype.
He's the first New Japan Grand Slam champion,
Who
sir.
fucking cares?
But that the way Tony hyped this and to get ratings, which is what he wanted, I just don't feel that this was enough, Brian. I don't.
But you don't watch New Japan. You don't know how big he is in the scope
Who
of
fucking watches
professional wrestling.
I'm sorry. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Rob.
Rob heard me in the other room and had to come in here.
I was walking the dog.
We got another debut to talk about too, so I want you to stay at least for the second debut.
I was walking the dog, and I realized that Adam never does the lights right. By the way.
Yeah.
So I was walking the dog, and I heard the conversation. You said, was this the what moment? The what do you call it?
The forbidden door. Tony said, "I'm gonna kick this forbidden door open forever."
The red door, right? He opened the
red door,
right? Who was it now?
Alice in Wonderland.
No, who was the red
Oh,
door?
Jay White.
Jay White.
And I will
Switchblade.
say, as somebody who did not watch in JPW, which I'm going to assume
You are a wrestling fan, though, right?
which I'm going to assume is the majority of the American market of wrestling fans does not know who Jay White is.
And to your point, Brian, if you say
Agreed.
this guy
I agree
was
with
made
you.
by NJPW, then but Rob's saying that nobody's heard of him here.
Yeah.
He's a homegrown there. Yeah, I don't know if it weren't for MJ, one of your co-hosts on the All Elite Hour, I would have no idea who the fuck Jay White is.
No. If
Is
it
he
wasn't
related
for
to
you,
Kerwin White?
If it wasn't for Brian in my life, I mean, Paul White?
Kerwin
If
White.
it wasn't for Brian in my life, I would not know who Jay White is. Yes, I'm sorry, Juan. I'm sorry, Juan, who I voted against.
Man,
by the way.
that's...
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Jay White means nothing to me. You know what?
But-
means,
but-
you know
okay,
what
but-
means something to me. Let me tell you what means something to me.
What?
All the really popular, well-known wrestlers that they signed and then immediately
Oh.
went, "We'll get to you."
Wait. I've gotta put this because this is just hysterical.
Yeah.
To me. So we have our little chat group that we have offline here, and Brian shares a picture of the Bucks, Adam Cole, and Jay White in the group, and Bob immediately goes, "No spoilers, damn it!" While me and Rob stared at that picture and we're like, "Who's that?"
Right.
Like, did you know who that was?
Nope.
Yeah, I thought because it was small, I thought maybe that was Terry Funk. Then when I blew it up,
Oh, my God.
I have no idea who this guy
You're
is.
like, is that Riddick Moss?
Yeah, actually, he does kind of look like Riddick Moss.
It does.
He doesn't look like a
kind of.
Madcap Moss. He looks like Riddick Moss.
Like Mad Cat.
Yeah, he looks like the guy that
Madcap.
would walk out on a lease on a van and
does.
leave his partner
He
hanging.
really does.
No, but
Yeah.
I mean, this is just. I don't know how to say it, Brian. This is not the guy. So we have one other debut. Let's see if that works. Is Keith Lee the big forbidden door?
No, I had this other argument with someone else. I wouldn't consider that forbidden door. He's a free agent. Right? He's allowed to go through the door. It's not like he's like working somewhere else or doing something else.
Right.
No.
But correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be wrong.
You're probably right.
Probably.
Keith Lee came out first.
No.
Okay, so it
Cassidy
was Jay
came
White.
out, and then I think they went to commercial, or they went to...
So when they talked about the Bullet Club, though, was later after Keith Lee. Because they did it in 2 separate segments.
Yeah, that was after, because to be
Okay.
honest with you, I think I might have missed that little bit.
Oh wait.
Okay.
Are me and Juan on the same page? So Juan.
That can't
So
be.
Juan doesn't know who Jay White is. So
Juan doesn't... Yeah,
So
Juan...
we and Juan are on the same page.
No.
yeah, Juan is saying who is Jay White. He's totally agreeing with
I
you.
mean,
Listen,
'cause Juan watches Fox News, I don't know
I'm
what
with
he does
you.
anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of American wrestling fans don't really know who he is. He hasn't really done
And I'm
a
not
lot
shitting on the guy.
in the States.
Yeah,
no,
that's right.
I
A lot of
I hear
American
you.
wrestling fans didn't know who Kenny Omega was. Let's be honest.
Yeah. And
Similar
I kinda
thing,
still
similar
wish I
thing.
didn't.
Right.
But Kenny at least had he had a run in a brief run in WWE, and Ring of Honor and all that
So-
stuff. But
You know
No,
what
Jay
Kenny
White
Omega
didn't
has
even have
brought
that.
to me? I've never seen 2 grown men ass to ass in the ring,
So
and I've never seen anyone wrestle a blow-up doll.
true. So
Hey.
I want to use one of Adam's analogies, one of his
Ooh.
long drawn out, regurgitated analogies here
be nice.
about GI Joes. Okay. Saying he had all the GI Joes.
I had all of them.
You had all of them. Right?
All of them.
And so the analogy really should be that when I went on the school bus and I was talking to my peers about my GI Joes, I could talk to some of them and be like, "I got the new Cobra Commander," or "I got fucking Serpentor," and be like, "Oh, that's cool, man."
I know
That's-
Destro.
Right. But then if I got too fucking crazy and I started naming off all the fucking people from the swamp that only like
All the dreadnought.
all the dreadnoughts and only the fucking super fans knew, they'd be like, "Yeah, whatever, bro, you're fucking lame," because they didn't know. So
Yeah.
when
like
Tony Khan,
I came in one day and I said, I got Thrasher. And they're
Yeah.
like, who's Thrasher?
exactly, point taken. So when Tony Khan is like, "Yo, everybody on my Twitter feed, look, I got the dreadnoughts," everybody's like,
Yeah.
"What, bro?"
Yeah,
You know what?
it wasn't like it was Zartan. He got Thrasher.
Yeah, it's fucking Zartan, bro. Come
Not
on.
even the
Zoltan.
originals like Torch and
Come on.
Viper.
Zartan.
Zoltan.
No, that's Zoltan.
That's Zoltan. Right.
Zoltan.
All right.
Zoltan.
So Keith Lee, and here's the other thing.
Dude.
Keith Lee comes in and he beats Isaiah Cassidy.
Does he?
He beats the other cranberry cocktail dude. He qualifies for the ladder match. And after this match is over, he's going to be like every other guy
What?
that isn't a main eventer.
What? He's just gonna be kind of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I
gonna
don't
be,
think so.
He's going to be
I can
doing
see him as-
a Andrade El Idolo gimmick with Darby Allin, where they just talk
Yeah.
for weeks and weeks and
No.
weeks to get to a match that nobody cares about.
Yeah, I could see Lee breaking past that. I could see him going to the main event and staying there.
Really?
He's convincing, man. I mean,
So,
I gotta say, he did look a little
I am
beefy
a-
tonight. He looked pretty big.
I'm a huge Keith Lee fan. You know this.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I don't think anyone has gotten over like a natural baby face like him in so long. The way the crowds would cheer and kind of go with him as a face. Like everybody gravitates to that heel, but he's got that smile and he's got a very Dusty Rhodes quality about him. Not just in his shape, but his demeanor, the way he carries himself, you know. He looks like he's having a fucking blast doing what
Totally.
he loves. So he's a good baby face. And because of that, I think that he could be booked to the fucking moon.
Oh, the crowd fucking went nuts when he came out,
Right.
and
Now-
during his entire match.
Now, here's what I'm saying. I'm going to give you a list. I want you to tell me
Yeah.
if you book Keith Lee or if you book the other person. MJF.
What are you talking about? Book them to win, you mean?
Like if you have a chance to give somebody like a big main event push, is it MJF or is it Keith Lee?
MJF.
Okay, is it Bryan Danielson or Keith Lee?
Out of the two of them,
no, it's one or the other.
I'm
it's
sorry,
not a match
Danielson.
between them. It's one or the other.
Right. I mean, I would have to. Well, is it like what I want to happen or what I think would happen?
Like if you were booking and you want crowd and ratings and you have a chance to bring your audience and you
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, him and Danielson, I'd still have to go with Danielson.
Okay. Mox and Keith Lee.
Ooh, that was it's pretty close. No, the crowd was still going crazy for Mox. So
Mox is the fucking top guy on AEW. I don't even know why you hesitated as long as you did. Adam Cole or Keith Lee.
Well, Cole is a heel.
I didn't say heel or face. I'm saying you have a chance to book one.
To be honest, if I would say this is where I would go with Lee.
Over Adam Cole. That's your fine. Okay, so
I would.
And what? And my fifth guy was going to be CM Punk.
Well, I mean, then judging by what they did tonight, I feel like Punk is going to be potentially mixing it up with Mox. You think?
We'll get there. Happen? We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Anyway,
I'm talking about. You have a chance.
I mean, Punk would have to be before Keith Lee.
Okay.
As far as crowd reaction.
4-1, you were booking Adam Cole over Keith Lee. Out of what I think are arguably the top 5 guys right now. I didn't mention Omega or Jericho, guys of the past. I mentioned who I think are the top 5 now. And you picked one for Keith Lee. So my point is the way things are going and the way they take a back seat. There's going to be a new debut, and Keith Lee's going to get lost in the shuffle, or he's going to be forced into a faction.
He's going to be like one of the toys from Toy Story, right? Was it Andy or who was it that would just get like a new toy, then throw them off to the side? I mean, Vince does it, right? Vince fucking still does it.
No, I mean Vince. No, Vince doesn't do it. Vince holds on to his favorites forever. Dude, they come back every year for WrestleMania. After a year of pushing Big E, Brock comes back. After a year of the previous year pushing Drew, Brock comes back. I mean, dude.
I'm talking about all those people they signed for 205 Live, right when AEW was just kind of forming, and they were just basically just scooping people up just so that AEW wouldn't sign them.
This is a Wednesday AEW show, Brian. We don't need to talk about any of that. So I want to talk about how I think AEW is getting it half right, and I want to talk about the Revolution Roundup. Then we'll get into Paige and Archer and the awards. Here's what I mean about half right. I've been saying this for a while. Check the tape, Brian. I think you've agreed with me.
I won't.
Even going back to the NXT days, you don't have to book someone every week. It's good to spread it out. We didn't see the American Dragon this week. No Cody Rhodes, no Orange Cassidy. I'm not.
Where was Cody? Oh, Cody.
He's on. I think doing Go Big or who knows. But
he's just home.
My point being is there's a lot of people we didn't see tonight, and I feel that that's a good thing. But you gotta fucking do it right and plan it out right.
What do you mean? You don't think they did it right tonight?
Brian, they have 3 episodes left before they get to Revolution. Mm-hmm. And they have one entrant into a ladder match as their only freaking thing on the paper. Now, I assume we're going to get Hangman versus Adam Cole. I assume that's going to be on there. I assume we'll get Punk and MJF too. I'm assuming that.
At Revolution?
Yeah. We got Death Triangle and House of Black, maybe. We got what is it? Rapogi Vice,
Roppongi Vice,
or Pungi Vice, and the Bucks might have a match. But are we just setting up Britt and Thunder Rosa too?
I guess.
Is that what we're doing there? Who's being set up for Jade? Anyone? Who's being set up for Sammy? Anyone? Who's being set up for Jurassic Express? Anyone? Who's being set up for Starks? I'll even add in the FTW. Like, I know you don't have to defend every belt, everything.
Yeah.
But you should feature your champions. Like when Sammy was doing something with Inner Circle and he was the TNT champ. Okay, that's fine. He's featured in something, even though he's whatever. Darby did it when he was champ, and he did a tag match with Sting. You know, that was fine. But you should have these guys on there. And it's been why I say all this, Brian, is the gap between Full Gear and Revolution is the biggest gap of AEW's calendar from pay-per-view to pay-per-view. They've blown their nut on all these Beach Bash, whatever shows.
Beach Bash!
They've given us all these pay-per-view quality matches for free. And now here we are. We got 3 weeks till Revolution, and we don't got dick set in stone.
Can I say something? And this might be unpopular, but I don't really doesn't bother me, man. I'd rather have no storylines or like little storylines and still have, because I know that they're going to deliver with good matches, than like overproduced too fucking like all this like silly shit that some other wrestling companies put on. So it doesn't really bother me. You are right. They haven't announced anything, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, too much talent, not enough TV time, Rocky says. Yeah, there's 3 fucking hours a week. You know, I mean, let's just be real. There's 3 hours a week. So it is
I
tough.
love PWG. This is basically like PWG. It's just like it's awesome matches.
Yeah, and
Fine,
DP,
cool with me.
DP's with me on the half right front, I think, by reading into this. He says, rotating people out is one thing, but they're making big mistakes in execution. I agree. One of them that I want to talk about, Brian, was the Mox and Punk.
How did they fuck that up? That was awesome.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Pretty cool.
But you have a huge thing hanging out there between Mox and the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. You have it's just hanging out there, and you got 3 fucking weeks after tonight's show. So you did nothing to further the story of Danielson and Mox. Not a damn thing.
True.
And you got 3 weeks to go. Those are to me 2 of your top 5 guys. You have no program going into Revolution, no set program with them. And to muddy the waters further, you even said it. You think maybe Punk and Mox are going to take on Pinnacle.
Well, I don't know. No, I think honestly, I mean, tonight it was weird. Like Mox and Punk were having kind of miscues, and I don't know, for a babyface team, it was kind of weird. It made me feel like one was going to turn on the other at some point, or no,
it wasn't good. And
I thought it was a good match. You didn't like that? I thought it was a great match.
I don't like them pairing them up right now. And let's not forget, Jon Moxley debuted helping CM Punk retain his championship in WWE. You know
Say
that,
it again
right?
one more time. You broke up.
What?
I couldn't hear what you said. You broke up a little bit.
Oh, I said let's not forget that Jon Moxley debuted, Dean Ambrose debuted, The Shield debuted with Brad Maddox.
During a Punk match.
Yeah, saving Punk's title.
Right.
So there's a ton of history that you could call back to. I think they went for a cheap pop to team them up tonight because Punk is entrenched with his feud in MJF. Mox has no business being a part of that. And Mox really I just think that they really needed to address what Bryan Danielson said. I don't
you mean in reference to Mox?
Dude, because I mean, Brian, that got me so excited. That was my marked out award last week, was the thought of them being like a power trip type team. But alas, it was not to be. Yeah, and
no, I'm sorry, go on.
DP says, I'm going to use my petty award now. Punk getting hit with a ring bell and still kicking out at 2. I mean, there's no... DP, there's people in AEW that get a finisher and don't even stay down for a 1 count. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I know that's your petty award, but there's so much other things going on.
See, I like what Rocky said. Too much talent, not enough TV time.
Yep. And I like when I said it about 2 minutes ago.
Did you? Oh, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
And I even gave Rocky credit, but Rocky's so cool. We can give him twice.
Yeah, right.
They did reference the Bryan Danielson promo right before the match started. Oh, okay. So they did reference it. Wait, who referenced it? The announce team? Because if the announce team referenced it, who cares? The Mox should have addressed it. Bryan Danielson should have addressed it. Said, hey, remember next week I need an answer. Yeah, it was JR or Tony, Rocky says. That doesn't count. Those guys, they rely on them too much to tell the narrative when the narrative needs to be told by the wrestlers.
Are you pretty much saying that they need to control their narrative, Adam? Is that what you're saying?
No, Mr. Mid Cardona.
Is he part of those? I don't know if he's part of those. Is he? I don't remember.
The control the narrative, I thought that was one of his things.
That's like Braun. Well, Braun. Oh,
No. Before it was a gimmick,
Titan.
I thought he was hashtagging control your narrative when he was a free agent.
No, that was EC3.
Oh, okay. That was always EC3.
Yeah. That was EC3's thing. Let's see. Stike, he got hit with a ring bell and took a brain buster. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, dude, FTR is such a good goddamn tag team.
Okay.
It's like they make it look so goddamn easy.
Brian, I want to be clear. I'm not arguing about that. FTR,
Oh no, I know. I'm
FTR
just
is
praising them,
awesome.
man.
What are they doing with any of these four? What are they doing at FTR?
What are they doing?
Really?
With
They
anyone?
just want to come out and circle jerk, and I might as well just fucking cut into it right now. This is my segment of the night winner.
Ooh.
But right now, FTR feels about a year from being able to cut the same promo that or Santana and Ortiz cut tonight. Like, hey, Chris, this has been all about you, never about us. You know, FTR should be like, hey, MJF, this has been all about you, not about us. It's the same fucking thing. They're just at different stages.
You got a point.
Sammy quit. Wardlow's about to quit. Sammy came back. Wardlow's. I mean, like, it's the same fucking thing. The Trials of Jericho.
Well, I wouldn't say
now
it's
we've got
the
Punk
same.
jumping through hoops. How is MJF the only one in the company that's able to book every other wrestler himself? He goes, hey, you want to fight me? You got to do this. Hey, I don't want to.
He's got money, bro.
I don't want to do this.
Pays people off.
They don't understand the characters and the gimmicks and how to give people all something. They put them in these factions so that they can say, FTR, we don't have anything for you tonight. Go wrestle Punk and them because that's what we got.
But you're in a faction that's involved with like a big time thing, so that's something. Well, look, I mean, if Sean Spears wasn't involved with in the Pinnacle, he wouldn't have had TV time tonight.
Well,
so I mean, it's good for Spears.
But Sean Spears, okay, that's fair, Brian. Sean Spears is a main event level talent for Dark Elevation.
That's not.
FTR is a top tag team in the company. Now, you can argue with me, Brian, if you want, that I just shit too much all over Sean Spears. But you will agree with me on the FTR point, will you not?
What would you say, that they're overbooked?
No, that they're one of the top tag teams in the company.
Oh, totally. But
Sean Spears is a main eventer on Dark Elevation. He can come out as MJF's lackey for years. And no offense to Sean Spears, but he's not much above Brandon Cutler.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
In terms of the way he's booked on Dynamite.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I mean, the segment, since I mentioned it and dove into the Inner Circle breaking up and dissolving, yeah, I think Santana and Ortiz are also one of the top tag teams in the company.
Totally.
I believe them and FTR are solidly in the top 5, like cemented. We could argue maybe about some others, but those two I think would make most lists. And yeah, they've been doing nothing but coming out to Chris Jericho. I'm glad they finally stepped up and said something tonight. So
do you think we're actually going to see Homicide in LA now what's his Hernandez show up at some point?
Now that would be fun.
They got a shout out.
But part of this Revolution Roundup, this is the only stories that were told tonight.
Yeah.
Was Punk and MJF Part 2 and the Inner Circle potentially breaking up.
2 women's matches.
We'll get there. The other story was, hey, Hangman can get beaten to shit and bloodied by a monster, but he's still going to win. I want to preface my statement, Brian.
What?
This is a good match.
Great match.
It had a really good finish.
That fucking powerbomb that Archer did onto the steps.
Yeah.
Jesus
but
Christ.
Also, I mean, the finish, having Paul Turner involved, having him do the barbed wire spots. There was no crotch shot to make Archer lose. He took 2 clotheslines with barbed wire, something else, and then the buckshot lariat. And then the table spot.
Yeah.
With the buckshot there. So, I mean, you protected your monster there. But at the same time, nobody thought Archer was going to win.
No. I mean, I don't think that was the point of it.
No,
well,
but that's what AEW's missing, Brian. This was such a good match with a well-scripted finish. You protect your big guy by not having the Big Show nut shot pin. You did such a good thing, but if the story was believable, we would think that Archer had a chance tonight. And nobody thinks that.
No, but I think that's also just because about, you're aware of, I don't want to say the inner workings, but you understand, you can't have a fucking crazy match every single Dynamite. But you can't have,
but
Punk versus Danielson. I mean, as far as, big names and stuff.
I've gotten, I think, at least 3 weeks running, I've gotten a pay-per-view quality match every Dynamite the last 3 weeks.
I'm not saying the match quality. I'm saying as far as, I guess, really the name quality. You can't have fucking... Because you'll wear people out. You're going to have everything ebbs and... ebbs and flows? Is it ebb and flow or ebbs and flows?
Ebbs and flows.
Ebbs and flows?
It's tied. Those are tied terms, right?
What are they?
We got a new person on the board, Will Rally, Sport Rally from the UK. He said the blackout on the stairs looked so painful.
Holy shit, yeah, it did.
It looked painful for sure, but man, both fucking men sold that spot to perfection. While it was painful, the way Hangman was able to tuck his head under and land flat on that surface. Yeah, it's metal. Yeah, gravity hurts. But it looked as safe as it could possibly be the way they executed it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really look at that when I watch matches, though.
Yeah, he's sore tomorrow, not injured.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Well, yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. I was surprised how much he fucking bled, though. Archer had a little bit, but Hangman, man, ooh, he was
I don't know if
gushing.
he hit a blood spurt or something, but yeah. DP says, like I said, Khan is burning gimmick matches too much, too fast to pop ratings. It's borderline desperation. Now, that's a good point.
I wouldn't go that far.
I as much as I'm whining that these matches, or we should have them as part of a Revolution card, you don't want a ton of gimmick matches on one card. So, I mean,
no,
it is what it is.
Very Vince Russo-esque.
Rocky said he really wanted to see if Jake could still hit a DDT.
He hit a short arm clothesline. That was pretty fucking cool.
Jake's just
I enjoyed that.
Stike says Lance Archer with another title match loss. 1, this story wasn't believable because the story wasn't long enough. And 2, once again, they job out one of their big men. I agree with the first statement, Stike. I don't know about job out one of their big men. I think this was probably the best protection of any of their big men they've done. I can't think of a way they've protected. I mean, last time he lost to Cody with, what was it, 2 fucking crossroads?
Something like that, yeah.
Or was it not? Or was that 2 was it to Brody and it was just 1 to Lance? One of them, I think Lance might have only taken 1, but I think they did a really good job of Hangman beating the Monster and the Monster getting beat, not fucked over, not screwed over. Like, you had to take the beast down, so to speak.
Sure. Do you think Hangman took too much, though? Do you think, like, took too much of a beating? He's their champion, babyface champion. I mean, I don't think so, but I feel like some.
It depends on the story you're telling. If you're telling the story of, like, you know, I'm the babyface that just can't lose, yeah, he took too much of a beating. If you're telling the story of how, man, this guy just keeps getting back up and nothing will keep him down and he's triumphing like that, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Because now he can say...
Yeah, I didn't take it as him being the underdog at all.
Yeah.
Hangman being the underdog.
Rocky's with me. He says Lance did not look weak with that match.
No.
100% he did not look weak. The problem was nobody believed he was ever going to win. Match of the night, Brian. That's our marked out award, our first one of the night here. What was your match of the night?
You know what? I'm going to say the main event was.
It has to be.
That was a pretty solid television main event, man. Give it up to both guys. That was yeah, definitely marked out for that. Or what are we doing? Marked out or match of the night? What did I say?
That was match of the night.
Match of the night. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine was the same, and I have to agree with DP's point here. I didn't even consider this. It's less of a must-see when you know that Archer's losing. Like, imagine this, Brian. If somebody told me that after the fact, like, I didn't watch it, I don't have a podcast, I missed tonight's Dynamite.
Okay.
And I go on Twitter and IWC is talking about Archer beating Page for the title and he's the new champ. I'd be like, oh, now it's a must-see. I got to go back and watch this match.
Mm-hmm.
But I could easily skip this knowing he wasn't going to do anything. And since you've shown him to be so weak against people like Cody, which was, you know, and Darby, which are 2 biggest feuds, I don't know. And I feel bad for the guy too, because I wondered what that Mox feud would have done had he not caught COVID. If they would have been able to finish that one.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you know, and that kind of fizzled, and they tried to go back to it a few weeks later, and it just missed it.
Right.
So that's the match of the night. Segment of the night, Brian, I already told you. For me, it was Proud and Powerful LAX 2.0, getting some cojones. What was yours?
Segment of the night, is that what you said?
Yep, segment of the night.
Gotta be Jay White showing up, bro. I mean, I know you said that it doesn't really tickle your fancy at the moment, but this is a pretty big deal to me. I mean, I'm not the biggest New Japan fan, but I understand that them working with a major promotion right now, it's a pretty big deal. And honestly, this just gets us one step closer to having Okada come over, and we can finally get Okada and Danielson maybe in AEW.
I cannot remember the number off the top of my head, Brian. I think it might be issue 141 or 142, or I just have too much in my brain. But if I told you, Brian, guess what I just got? I got the new Teen Titans issue number 142.
Okay.
Are you excited? Are you excited about issue 142 of the new Teen Titans?
Dude, that is my fucking... You said Team Titan?
Teen Titans.
Teen Titans. Yeah, that's my favorite, man.
It's your favorite?
My favorite.
Okay. You know what it is?
Yeah, it's a comic.
Okay. Everybody, you might get... People offline might not know this. I am a humongous comic book fan. I could fill this studio with comic books.
You could.
I easily could. So
you should.
Like Brian, who knows everything about wrestling, Jay White showing up for him is exciting. But I don't think most people would care about issue 142 of the new Teen Titans. Except for people like me who are in the know and know what that issue is. So That's just what I'm saying. It's the same.
But because you're excited about it, that gets me excited. See how it works?
No.
Like, oh no.
Nah. Segment of the night. That's Carmen. I keep forgetting it's Carmen tonight. She said it's Santana and Ortiz agreeing with me. She also says match of the night as a fellow female. I love the Serena Deeb match, even though it was just about a minute long. I loved everything about it. I might as well use that to segue to my marked out award. Yes, it was only a minute long, but I think this is only the second time in Dynamite history there were 2 women's matches on the show.
It is a big deal, man.
Yes, so that was my marked out award, Brian. I marked the fuck out for it. 2 women's matches. I have no idea who Britt Baker's facing, but 2 women's matches.
Yeah. Marked out. I mean, I'm surprised that you didn't say this, but Keith Lee's showing up. He was one of the ones that was obviously rumored to be showing up, but finally hearing the limit or just seeing the Limitless on the. I almost called it Titantron. It's not a Titantron. It's the the screen.
I keep hoping, Brian, that these guys are going to be the next Jeff Hardy's, Christian Cage, Sting, Kurt Angle to TNA signing type guys. When those 4 guys came in, huge fucking debuts, not stacked on top of each other. I guess Cage and Hardy kind of came in at the same time there. But there was plenty of breathing room between Angle and Sting's debuts.
Yeah.
And you had things for them to do. Here, I feel like Keith Lee has just as good a chance to become Monty Brown. Like, I feel like all these guys are Monty Browns right now.
So if you're not in the main event, you're Monty Brown?
All the potential in the world, but no. I mean,
I see. Okay.
But not like, what are you doing? Like, Monty Brown had a run of 6-8 months where he was in main event storylines because he was attached to Jarrett.
Yeah.
But it was really, he was kind of Jarrett's lackey, and it was Jarrett that was in the main event, not Monty Brown. That's what I'm worried about here, is that if Andrade saddles himself up to Omega, he can be in the main event for a little while. But otherwise, he's not really going anywhere. Keith Lee, he's not going to shine.
I think he will, bro. I think he will.
I don't trust it. And I know that there's still Wyndham, Rotunda maybe to come, as well as who the fuck knows who else.
Killer Cross.
Yeah, and all these other guys are getting let go. Like, by the way,
I wouldn't say let go.
That's the other thing. Killer Cross, he's going to be your surprise entrant at the Face of the Revolution match.
Probably.
Ladder match. He'll be a surprise entrance.
And but again, I wouldn't say they're being let go. Some of them are just not renewing their contract, which is a choice.
Some of them, or TK is not.
Well, I think it's a bit of both.
I can't speak for everybody, but there's no way in fuck hell that Peter Avalon would say no to any money from any company that's willing to offer him. No offense, dude, but you got a gimmick that was like given to you like the studio executives forming Lincoln Park full of members that had never met each other before their first day in studio.
Well, that's not his fault, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah. What was that guy that was with AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose for a while? Oh fuck.
AJ and Dean.
He was the first. He was the real first ever women's Money in the Bank winner.
Oh, James Ellsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Peter Avalon's like that.
Oh man.
He's lucky if he gets, work. Last award.
Yeah, what is it? What do we got?
It's the petty. I already kind of said it earlier. One of the reasons, to me, right now, Brian, one of my top guys in all of wrestling is Kevin Owens. One of the reasons why I am an AJ Styles fan. One of the reasons why I love fucking Kurt Angle to death. all of those guys, every time they stepped in the ropes, they told a story with their matches. Whether KO's heel or face, he's talking to the crowd in between moves. He's doing what he's supposed to. Kurt would kick up and do his little Olympic twirl after suplex. They had this showmanship, and part of that comes from the guy who took the move staying down on the ground, selling that move, while the braggart gloats or while the face tries to get the crowd involved. Whatever it is, you have to have that. You have to have the wrestlers telling the story. It's okay when you have a debut and a young wrestler that the announcers can step in and kind of, oh my God, da-da-da-da. I remember fucking Kane's debut at Hell in a Cell between Taker and Michaels. If the announcers didn't talk then, there was no way that narrative was getting across. Like, oh, look.
Oh, totally. Right.
There's a guy in red with Paul Bear. What the hell's going on? So, I mean, sometimes it's absolutely necessary. But AEW relies on it way too much. And my petty is just that. The wrestlers, no pun intended, EC3, I love you. Wrestlers need to control their own narrative. And TK needs to not just make the announce team do it. It feels so forced and bad by them. They're not good actors. They're good color commentators. It feels scripted when they do it, Brian. Like it feels like the only part that's scripted half the time is them telling their off-candid stories during the match. And it feels
I feel like that's what
WWE,
that's the problem with WWE.
It feels
I don't get that with AEW. I feel like they do a pretty good job with telling the story, via commentary.
All right, fine. What's your petty? What's your petty?
Petty? My petty? How about we got Keith Lee, but we didn't get Mia Yim. That would have been cool.
I thought, and I was talking in the DM group with the Bomb Squad here, I thought that there was a good chance that all the hype would not have been for Jay White or Keith Lee. It could have been for a woman. And that the Forbidden Door that he was talking about, isn't AJ Lee signed right now to some other promotion?
She's doing stuff with Women of Wrestling. Wow.
There's your Forbidden Door.
That would be I suppose that would be a Forbidden Door. That would be a Forbidden Door.
And she is not just Punk's wife. She has her own name ID.
Totally.
Whether it's as AJ Lee or is Mendez her...
Yeah, she would be Mendez. I don't think she could be... she can't do AJ Lee.
AJ Mendez
is fine. I mean, I guess she could. Maybe. I don't know.
She could Ultimate Warrior that stuff.
Yeah, change your name. Or Ryback.
Princess Consuela Banana Hammock. Change your name.
Yeah.
My petty award for for Carmen, rehashing the same Jericho versus MJF storyline, but this time they are substituting Jericho and Punk. And at Revolution, Punk's going to win, and Wardlow is turning face. Yeah, I almost think that this was a waste. This surprise with Mox, because they didn't need to do it. Imagine if this match stretch it out all the way to Revolution. Who is Punk's partner going to be? Who is Punk's partner going to be? And you pull a Cody Rhodes maneuver from his past, and MJF standing there. He's announced him and Wardlow, and then they announce Punk's tag team partner. And who's Punk's tag team partner? Oh, it's
Cody
Wardlow.
Rhodes.
It's Wardlow. And he just turns and goes the other side. Just like when Ted DiBiase said he was going to have Ted DiBiase Jr. said he was going to have his new tag partner. And Cody Rhodes switched teams right as the match starts.
Yeah.
That would have been the way to really play this fucking thing out.
But then you would have been like, oh, they're just copying what WWE did.
They copied everything else. I want to see Wardlow. I want to see something pay out here. Because I'm worried to fucking death, Brian, that when this all breaks down, that MJF's going to beat Wardlow.
I don't think so.
You're telling me that you think that MJF's going to put Wardlow over. Like, that's going to be the guy that he puts over.
I mean, MJF already beat Punk.
Yep. He beat Jericho.
Beat Jericho.
He beat Cody.
Punk and MJF are going to have their rematch at Revolution, it seems, right?
Yep.
Is that what we're kind of going with?
Yep.
So, I mean, Punk will probably win that match. I don't see them having a third. Maybe they have a third. I don't know. But I really don't see if Wardlow were to have the match, they would have to have a match after the next Punk and MJF match. I feel like I wouldn't have a problem with Wardlow beating MJF. Not clean. There has to be some sort of
Brian,
shenanigans.
I didn't say do you have a problem with it. I said do you trust that that all this building they're doing here?
If they really want to push Wardlow, yeah. But maybe once they get there, they'll realize, maybe it's a little too soon. Maybe he's not ready for that at this point.
Too soon? It's been 3 fucking years. You've been teasing the breakup for the
I'm not
last
saying
year.
I'm saying too soon in the feud. I mean too soon in his development as a wrestler.
You disgust me at the end of the show here. In any event, let's shut this shit down.
Yeah.
We went on a little late. I had some technical difficulties.
Oh, that's
I'll
a
get
shocker.
that sorted out for next week. Brian, thank you for joining me, your giant-headed ass.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. Oh, and there's the roadie Robert.
Yeah, he wanted to come out and say hello.
Hey, roadie.
So we'll be back next Wednesday for another edition. I'm sure there'll be another free pay-per-view style match. I'm sure with 3 weeks to go, we'll have something more than one guy in a multi-man match confirmed for Revolution. But hell, you never know. They might just make that shit up last minute. And Brian will say he has no problem with it, even though he shit on it when WWE did it.
Does Brian have a green screen in his room?
It looks
I've had one of these for the pandemic for a while.
Yeah, he uses that for the All Elite Hour.
No, I don't.
Yeah, he doesn't care about he wants
What do
to
I
get
need?
that
What do I
cool,
need a green screen for? I don't need a green screen for anything
I
right
think it's
now.
a Korn album cover in the back there.
No. Corn.
Fan stuff.
Ow, God damn it.
Oh,
Just
is
hit
the
my
green
knee.
screen for your OnlyFans? Do you want to plug that now before we sign off?
Yeah, onlyfans.com/marked out. You can go there. You can find nice feet pictures of Robert. You can find some. We just actually did a nice.
You still do your teaser trailers on the hub?
Yep. We just did a nice shoot with Stone Age Steve Awesome down by the creek.
And you go by Bionic Cock, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good name. It's a good name.
Yep.
Know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good name. That's a good handle. So check Brian out on all those other platforms.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't follow me if you check Brian out.
Yeah.
But if you don't like any of that, you can follow me. I'm on Twitter @markedout. Abom, Rhodey's on there. He's got a harder one to remember. @markedoutbt if you like the rough stuff. We'll be back next week. Sometime between now and then it'll be an All Elite Hour, I believe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. There will be.
But until then, we'll see you next time. Same smart time, same smart channel.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Rob's telling you to wrap it up.
Wrap that shit up, B.
Wrap it up, B. Wrap that
Marked Out Podcast is
B.
produced and edited by U-Record Studios and is recorded live from Charlotte, North Carolina.
For Rapper the
Subscribe,
Rapper?
follow, and listen to us live following WWE programming on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Download the podcast by following us at podbean.com or
Hey,
subscribe
congratulations.
on iTunes and Apple
Congratulations,
Podcasts. While you're there, go ahead and give us an honest and fair review and rating. Finally, if you have enjoyed our product and would like to see us grow, please donate to us by visiting the donation link below our live video, or you can donate via Venmo and Cash App at the handle Ravepro. That's RAVEPRO.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.